It's time for Be in the Driver's Seat with Regina, the Queen of Car Loans, and mental health expert, Dr. Teresa Moore. A Saturday morning mix of cars, credit, and wellness created just for you. Brought to you by Joe Lunghammer Chevrolet of Waterford. Plan your next vehicle purchase or get your credit rolling in the right direction with Regina today. And now, Regina, the Queen of Car Loans, and Dr. Teresa Moore.
Good morning. You are listening to Be in the Driver's Seat. I am your host, Regina Eileen Woodard, the Queen of Car Loans. And I'm sitting right next to my favorite co-host, Dr. Teresa Moore.
Good morning, everybody. What's up?
Good morning. I'm super excited about this show today because I have my childhood friend in the building, Tonya Gooding. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
And in the studio, wasn't actually calling in. He plays NFL. KJ Hamler, all the way out of Denver.
Yeah.
Do I got that right? Denver?
Yes.
Yes.
He plays for the Denver Broncos.
Okay. All right.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Good morning. So before we get on with the show, I want to just highlight your mother this morning. I just want to really hone in and talk to her because it takes a special mother to raise someone that's now in the NFL. You just everybody don't start out being humble.
That's true.
People start out being humble, but then they get the big head.
That's right. Yeah.
So this young lady, she's a mother of KJ Hamler, wide receiver of Denver Broncos, but we go way back to that small city called the Yak. We call it the Yak now, right?
The Yak, yep. The Yak.
But growing up, we called it Pontiac.
Yes. Yeah.
So I know that we grew up on the southside of Pontiac, and then we had playground. But the playground's not there anymore.
Right.
And you lived right across the street.
Yes.
Do you remember the times I used to try to beat you at the basketball court? I tried to beat you to get out your house, even though you were closer, to get to the basketball court so that we could play with the boys.
And we did, though. We ran with them. We ran with the boys. Yes, that playground is famous for a lot of us. Yes, we grew up, yes. I mean, what can you say about Nebraska Street? That was the best park ever.
Well, the one thing what I love about growing up on the south side of Pontiac is that we were all family.
Yeah.
Everybody knew each other. Everybody knew your parents, your mom, your dad. And then when we were at the park, I just remember sometimes it was like, if we were saying something we weren't supposed to be saying or doing something we weren't supposed to be doing, you know how we do when we were kids, right?
Yeah.
It was like the check. Okay, it'd be like, honey, they knew our name. You remember that?
Yep.
They knew our name.
Yelling across the street.
Right.
Like, I heard you.
Did you realize? So, me, I had a potty mouth back in the day.
Really?
With that potty mouth, though, I just remember your dad used to he probably just waiting on me to get me in check, right? Yeah. But, I love that because I credit your parents helping raise the childhood kids. So let's talk a little bit about your story with playing basketball because the skills that your son have, he just didn't develop. It came from you. So let's talk about a little bit about your career.
Well, like I said, I grew up, on the south side of Pontiac, and of course we had a park, so that was all I knew, to go over and play basketball at the park. And I spent plenty of nights on that park, and then it just developed into me playing junior high basketball to high school basketball, and I just loved it. And like I said, not only just me, my brother who also was a basketball player, football player, and then I had a nephew who also played basketball, and he played semi-pro overseas for a few years. So the genetics and the skills was there, I guess, thanks to Mama Gooding and Daddy Gooding for instilling that in us. But I was a tomboy at heart. I mean, that was my thing, basketball.
Who was she touching a little stone there? Dr. T. She touching a little stone there.
Listen, I'm excited because I hear about you all having a village of people around helping to mold you and correct you when you had that potty mouth.
Yes.
So, so I'm excited about that. And then I hear both of you had the love of the game. So now, and KJ's on the line, and he's going to talk about the love of the game. So this is awesome.
So, I got it when you said tomboy because we all we used to beat the boys playing basketball. You know, we had our basketball shoes on. You know, we were all like, okay, well, who gonna have the nicest shoes this week? Or who gonna reach to get to the store first and get that nice shoe, right? But the great thing about it, we transform into women. I started a little late, you know. I started a little late with the makeup and the heels and everything. But I saw Tonya and her 1920 walking around with her heels and strutting, showing them legs and showing everything, right? Right. That's how KJ got here, right? She developed real early at that time, boy.
KJ came late. KJ came real late in the game.
But you know, but thing is, your husband, he had his eye on you. You got the eye. You gotta have that eye. See, people sit back and they watch you, right?
Yeah, that's true.
They watch you.
Yeah.
So before we get talking to KJ, how does it feel to be a basketball mom? I mean, I say basketball.
Yep.
Okay, well, you know, I'm thinking about basketball. Football mom. How does it feel to be a football mom? NFL.
A blessing, because I didn't see this. You know, I think the ultimate goal at the time, even when KJ was little, was to, you know, put him in the right school district, you know, education, academics. And so that's when we put him in, you know, from actually when he left from, because he played Little League with Pontiac Panthers. And then, you know, I knew high school, like I knew I wanted him to go to Orchard Lake St. Mary's. And from there, it was just like, we just need to get to college. You know, we paying for Orchard Lake St. Mary's. We just need to get to college.
Well, you're paying a lot of money there.
A lot of money for Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Yes, ma'am. So I never envisioned NFL, even though, you know, KJ said it, like, you know, I want to be an NFL player. You know, we asked him, what do you want to be when you grow up? And it was, I want to be an NFL player. But, you know, as a parent, you're like, okay, dude, give me plan B, or give me plan A and let that be plan B. Because, you know, I didn't see it at first until he actually got to Penn State. Then I was thinking like, oh man, we on to something.
So you saw the skills, or?
I did. Well, you know what? I saw it early, even when he was at Orchard Lake St. Mary's. I think Dad saw it way before I did. I think Dad saw it when he was at Pontiac Panthers, Little League, you know, 6-7 years old. I think he saw it, but it took me a long time to get on board before I actually saw the vision. You know, and I, of course, but I'm thinking like they're kids. Of course he's fast. I mean, he's 6 or he's 7. You know, I didn't think anything of it at first until, like I said, when he got to Orchard Lake St. Mary's, I was like, okay, he good. You know, we college material. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, from there it just, and then when I started seeing the offers, because I didn't even really know how it all worked. You know, how it goes for recruiting and D1 and D2, or, you know, I didn't know what that meant at first. And then when I'm like, okay, KJ's getting all these offers from all these big schools, like wow. Yeah, like, okay, he must be really, really.
You had no faith in your son.
I did have faith in you, sir.
That was a little check there.
I did have faith. I just didn't understand the dynamics of, you know, what all this meant. You know, but then, you know.
I was just listening to you all, and, you know, he spoke it out early on. And so
yes, he did.
The Bible tells us to speak those things that be not as though they were. So he spoke that out early on, and because God knows the plans that he has for us, look what him speaking out those things has done. Yeah. The atmosphere, he spoke it out in the atmosphere, and look at the return.
He did. He did. And he always said it. I mean, even when you asked him, like, what do you want to, you know, what do you want to do? And I'm going to play football. I mean, he always said it. Always said it. It was just instilled in him.
So what's some advice that you can give a young mother who is raising her son, right? What's advice that you can give them if they speaking in existence what they want?
You know,
what to look out for
to support them. You know what? And a lot of people don't know. You know, the sacrifices. It's a lot of sacrifices. Talk about it. That went into this. It was not easy at all. I mean, not easy because, you know, when we left Orchard Lake St. Mary's, we went to IMG Academy in Florida. So
what was IMG Academy?
So IMG Academy is the whole Nick Bollettieri school. It started off as the whole tennis academy, a whole boarding school. If you know about IMG Academy, it's $75,000 a year. You know,
so he went there and did for how long?
He went there. So the ultimate goal was for him to go there for a year. He was supposed to do his senior year there, but he was so set up academically, he only needed a couple of classes, and they let him take them that one semester. So he only went for a semester. Wow. Graduated early, came out of IMG and graduated in December or January, and then enrolled in Penn State. But the sacrifices, I'll tell any mother, any parent, and luckily me and his dad saw the vision, and we worked together and understood the sacrifices. So, But if I had to do it by myself, I would say, honestly, just support them 199% and do everything that you need to do, not just in high school camps, anything you can get them involved in, and just, really put all the sacrifices and money into it. Like I said, I didn't see it. I didn't see NFL. I just saw college. But every dime that we spent was well worth it.
So it was a dad and KJ seeing the big picture and help molding and helping you, bringing you around because you were there.
Yep.
But you had faith, but you just had to be brought to the next level of the faith.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like a lot of the camps that they used to do, I wouldn't go. I was like, oh no, you guys go. They were going to San Antonio, Virginia, Ohio. I wouldn't go. I was like, oh no, you guys go. And then like I said, when I started seeing writers writing about him and they all on Twitter, and I was like, okay, hold up. And then I think at one time what really made me get involved, Dad took a job and he couldn't get the time off to start taking him, to the camp. So I had to start taking him.
It was your turn.
So it was my turn. So I'm in Virginia, I'm in Ohio, I'm in Notre Dame, I'm at Ohio State, I'm up in Michigan State, I'm up at U of M. And that's when I was, I became I think people started knowing me that's KJ mom, because I became involved and became vocal. I became vocal in the recruiting, with a lot of the coaches and stuff. So a lot of them started knowing me. So, then it was just like, let's move forward. Let's do this. But it was a lot of sacrifices. Like me and his dad didn't do vacations like the Arubas or the Dubais or, Cancun. We were so busy. Our vacations were when we took him to a camp.
Yeah, that's good.
So that was the sacrifices.
So, Tonya, it must feel real good.
It does. It does.
Yes,
it does. It does. It really does. And I can remember the day KJ walked out. From we were at KJ in Texas, and you walked out and was like, "I'm entering the draft," and I was like, "No, you're not." And he was like, "Yes, I am."
Let's talk about that though, because KJ, you did 2 years at Penn State, right?
3.
I did. So I did 3. So I redshirted my first year.
Okay, well I call it 2. I call it 2, but you're right. It's 3. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So I did 3, but I redshirted my first year, so I only played 2 seasons.
Wonderful.
So what? So talk to our listeners, because how do you get your card pulled to actually be able to go to the NFL? Because all I remember exactly where I was. Right, I was sitting at a restaurant, right, and I was getting these phone calls like, "Are you watching the draft? You watching?" I'm like, text me, "Why am I watching the draft?" Because KJ is going to the draft, and I said, "Tonya Gooding, son." That's what you mean? So because it was always Tonya Gooding to me, because we grew up together. Yeah. But I remember the excitement that everybody in Michigan and everybody in Pontiac, the Yak came out.
Yeah, we was geeked up. Okay, geeked up.
So how do you get your ticket pulled to be able to say, you know what, I got a chance to go to the NFL to make some money, or do I stay in school? How does that?
So the whole plan was I really wanted to come back for another year, and we always had these end of the year meetings after our last game of the season. So end of year meetings is like my mom, my dad, my wide receiver coach. He like one of the father figures in my life. My head coach, and they just give you all these projections, because when you're eligible for the draft, they just tell you where you're projected to go, things like that. And so when they showed me the numbers, they were saying, okay, here's the numbers, here's where you're projected. And I'm looking at them, and it's like 12 first round, and then the rest of the second round. And I didn't really expect to be, first round or second round talent. I'm like, so I looked at and my head coach was over there saying, he's like, if you decided to come back, or if you were to come back. And I'm like, are you trying to give me a hint that I should leave or something like that? So and it was crazy because I went through 3 wide receiver coaches there. Coach Parker was the best out of all of them. I appreciate him. I love him to death. And he literally he tapped me under the table, and he gave me the peace sign. He was like, I'd be a fool if I let you stay.
Wow.
And I was like, that's when it got real. Like, I didn't plan on. I wanted to come back. I wanted to come back for another year and just do my little last year there and just see what plans out. But God had his plan.
Yeah, and then it worked out because then it was COVID. We went to COVID year.
Yeah, amen. I love that you said that, because you said God worked it out. But we're going to let God work this out. We got to take a break and pay some bills, and we'll be right back. Regina the Queen of Car Loans here with Joe Longhammer Chevrolet. If you're looking to get into a new or used vehicle with affordable rates, we've got your back. Regardless of your financial situation, I can get you financed today. My lenders are making unheard of deals where others simply cannot. In June, we're giving away 12 months of Jack's Unlimited Car Wash memberships for free to the first 25 people who buy a new or used car from me. Just Google Regina the Queen of Car Loans.
Chevrolet, find new roads.
Call Brenda Davis now at 248-909-9711 and get started on your new home purchase or sale. Brenda D. Davis, the realtor that moves you. Whether you're relocating to Michigan from another state or country, moving across town, upgrading, or downsizing, Brenda Davis from Century 21 Town and Country Real Estate can make it a smooth, hassle-free experience. Our award-winning offices and the outstanding personal service offered by Brenda Davis and her professional sales associates guide you through the maze of infinite details surrounding the purchase or sale of your home, helping you become familiar with a new area, finding the right home for your family, arranging financing, and settling in a timely fashion is our priority. Assuring that your relocation is a pleasant experience is our ultimate goal. Brenda Davis, an associate broker, is a 21-year career licensed realtor, a member of the National Association of Realtors, and a board member of the North Oakland County Board of Realtors. Call Brenda Davis now at 248-909-9711 and get started on your new home purchase or sale. Brenda D. Davis, the realtor that moves you.
We are back and you listen to Be in the Driver's Seat, and I'm your host, Regina, the Queen of Car Loans. And I'm sitting right next to my favorite co-host, Dr. Teresa Moore.
Good morning, everybody. What's up? What's up?
You know, I'm super excited again about this segment because this time we're going to be talking actually to KJ Hamler. First part of the show, we're talking to the mother, Miss Tonya Gooding. Hey. Come on down.
Hey, you're the next contestant.
On the Price is Right of being the driver's seat.
That's right.
So listen, we want to finish this conversation. KJ, we know that you're doing some great things in the NFL, and we know that you said, you're giving thanks to your coach, you gave those thanks to your parents, but I want to talk to the young people right now because I believe that's very key. What are some things that you can tell if someone wants to go to the NFL and they want to be great? They want to be NFL material. What are some things that you did to prepare?
Like my mom said, just basically sacrificing a lot. I was telling my parents one time, I ain't go to my first house party till I got to college. So it was just we was always out of town. Always going to camps 24/7, on weekends where, I didn't really feel like going, but then when I go there, I get excited because I just love ball, but I think the main thing was for me, was just not letting anybody tell you what you can or cannot do. My dad always, every time I always talk to my dad and I was like, I can't do it. He was like, don't you, he was like, canceling on your vocabulary. That was the main thing. So I don't really, I don't really say can't anymore. I haven't said it since I was probably about 5. So that was probably the main thing that helped me through everything. And like my mom said, they was always talking about a plan B. And I told my dad got mad one day. And I was like, Pop, it was never no backup. I feel like if I had a backup, I wouldn't focus on the main goal.
Wow.
So it was really never no backup. I went to school. I got good grades. I got good grades just to maintain and to be eligible and just to be prepared at all times. To get that piece of paper, which I'm probably gonna go back and get sometime in my life.
So KJ,
when I'm not as busy with this football stuff, but I know my mama want me to do that,
yes,
so I'm doing it for her and daddy. But no, I was telling her, I was like, it was never really no plan B. I knew what I wanted to do, and I like to speak things into existence.
That's good.
Every time I have, it's always came true, and I've always been able to do it. So I'm big on writing things down or talking to myself or just speaking things into existence because that's the real reality of it.
What are you writing down?
I wrote down I wanted to be an NFL football player when I was 4.
Ooh.
I think my mom, you still got it.
I still have it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's important to put
Still
things
got it.
before your sight so that you can see that goal in front of you. So, KJ, I heard your mom speak about the sacrifices and even you. So tell the listeners today, how do you keep yourself grounded? Because I know it has to be exciting to be in your position. So how do you keep grounded?
I think it's just a natural thing for me. Like, I'm always a loving, caring person. I never let no piece of money change me. You see that a lot in the NFL or any type of professional sport. I'm always a friendly person, a caring person, loving person. So, and I've always been like that growing up. So it really, being humble and being grounded is nothing really to me. I'm not gonna stop till my mom and dad don't got to work a day in their life. So.
Oh, I like that.
That's the main goal.
But you forgot to say that we instill good values in you. That's why you're so grounded.
Well, yeah,
I mean, from day one, like we was like, no, you ain't doing this. No, you ain't doing this. And no, you're not buying this. And no, you're not. But KJ frugal though.
Is he frugal?
Very.
Oh, wow.
On what he want to be frugal about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if it's shoes, I can't.
But he hasn't made like any big, you know what I'm saying, like astronomical purchase. He hasn't bought a house. You know what I'm saying? So he hasn't bought like $100,000 car. He's very, very frugal and cautious of his money. KJ one of the people like, okay, if I spend $9,000, okay, deduct $1.7 million from $9,000. He gonna leave me with 1 point. He's one of them type people.
Well, so he a money person.
He want to hold on to it.
Well, that's good.
But that's how you
good.
stay rich. That's how you keep money.
Yeah.
By being frugal. Because if you notice, most individuals that are rich, you don't know that they're rich.
Yeah.
So that's
Right.
good, KJ.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good tool for me.
Yeah. And like I said, we still work. Me and Dad still work. Still live in the same house.
But what was the key? What was the key that KJ just said the key was when you guys don't have to work.
Right.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to work, and that's the key. Yeah. And see, you gotta believe that. Mm-hmm. When he say y'all ain't gonna have to work, you gotta speak that every day. You gotta write. Wait a minute, you gotta write that down on paper. Look, I'm giving it on right because KJ obviously is writing things on paper, and he has a plan. I like what you said because for I hope we have a lot of young people that's gonna listen to this because it's important that you put your vision down on paper.
That's right.
You gotta look at it. You gotta know where you're going. Mm-hmm. If you say it's no option, I like that. It was no option, Mom.
Well, no plan.
What no plan B?
But you know what though? Most people think though when you get in the NFL, that's the first. Because I remember going back to work after the draft. People were like, "Why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you here?" And I was like, "What do you mean? Your son just, your son make a. Why are you here? I work. I mean, I was doing this before he got in the draft. I was doing this for 26 years prior to him. So why would I quit?
Let's speak on that for a minute, KJ. How does it feel to have the parents that you have? Because I know you got other players, you got your peers, right? Mm-hmm. When it comes to how grounded your parents have you, could you give some advice for parents that have kids in the NFL?
I just think the only thing is, with that, like I appreciate my mom and dad. And there's been plenty of times, we done all bumped heads before and disagree with a lot of stuff, but that's just part of the nature. But I think as a NFL parent, I feel like you got to understand that as if your son or whatever goes to the professional level, he's on a different agenda. Like he's always busy, always got something to do. So it's like I don't talk to my mom and my dad every day, but I try to call them every week or at least talk to them every week. But I think just understanding that aspect of it, and I think my mom and dad been good with that so far, But just being understanding and just knowing what my goal is and what I'm trying to do, so I think that's probably the biggest part.
What are some last words that you want to leave our listeners?
Like I said, never let anybody tell you what you can or cannot do. Can is never in your vocabulary. And if you speak it into existence, God will have plans. It might not be when you want it to be, but in the end result, God always got a plan. And he always know what he's doing. He work in mysterious ways. So just always have faith. When you're in your lowest spots, keep talking to him. Talk to that man above, because he'll give you signs and you won't even know it. So just if you put your mind towards something, keep going. It's gonna get tough. You're gonna hit adversity. You're gonna fail, but failure is growth. I learned that from my coach Jared Parker. Failure is growth. So I've been living with that ever since he was my coach in college.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Any last words? NFL mom?
Just like I say, don't stop believing. I mean, KJ was the smallest of the smallest, and people, they knocked him for that.
People wrote him off. Just say
they wrote him off.
Okay. Just say people wrote him off and look at him now.
And look at him now. Yeah.
That's good. KJ, thank you so much. You have really inspired me today to keep moving. Put your goals before you and watch and see the manifestation. Thank you so much.
No, I appreciate y'all.
We appreciate you too.
Regina, the Queen of Car Loans here with Joe Longhammer Chevrolet. If you're looking to get into a new or used vehicle with affordable rates, we've got your back. Regardless of your financial situation, I can get you financed today. My lenders are making unheard of deals where others simply cannot. In June, we're giving away 12 months of Jack's Unlimited Car Wash memberships for free to the first 25 people who buy a new or used car from me. Just Google Regina, the Queen of Car Loans.
Chevrolet, find new roads.
Call Brenda Davis now at 248-909-9711 and get started on your new home purchase or sale. Brenda D. Davis, the realtor that moves you. Whether you're relocating to Michigan from another state or country, moving across town, upgrading, or downsizing, Brenda Davis from Century 21 Town and Country Real Estate can make it a smooth, hassle-free experience. Our award-winning offices and the outstanding personal service offered by Brenda Davis and her professional sales associates guide you through the maze of infinite details surrounding the purchase or sale of your home, helping you become familiar with a new area, finding the right home for your family, arranging financing, and settling in a timely fashion is our priority. Assuring that your relocation is a pleasant experience is our ultimate goal. Brenda Davis, an associate broker, is a 21-year career licensed realtor, a member of the National Association of Realtors, and a board member of the North Oakland County Board of Realtors. Call Brenda Davis now at 248-909-9711 and get started on your new home purchase or sale. Brenda D. Davis, the realtor that moves you.
If you're looking to buy a new or used car, you're looking to get your credit together, I'm your girl, Regina, the Queen of Car Loans. If you need to get into that new Chevy, that new Buick, that new GMC, or you just want to get that pre-owned vehicle, you can call your girl, Regina, the Queen of Car Loans, at 248-218-9808. And what are we giving away in August?
Listen, we're giving a free iPad away in August. We need you to go to our landing page at www.beinthedriverseat.com. Again, www.beinthedriverseat.com and register to win the free iPad. Enter your name, your email address, and your phone number, and you will be entered to win.
All right, we'll see you, or you'll listen to us same time next week.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
You've been listening to Be in the Driver's Seat with Regina, the Queen of Car Loans, and mental health expert, Dr. Teresa Moore.
Brought to you by Joe Longhammer Chevrolet of Waterford.
Be in the Driver's Seat, a Saturday morning mix of cars, credit, and wellness created just for you. From Regina, the Queen of Car Loans, and Dr. Teresa Moore, thank you for listening.